What's up there? But this shit Memorial B.
And Nicole.
We're back in it with some more reaction videos, baby. Geography now.
We like these a lot too.
Czech Republic, man. I man, Barbie, aka Paul, aka Barbie, finna get some great
Teach
information.
us all about the Czech
Man.
Republic.
Dope, man. So we're finna dive right into it.
Hey Barbie.
Yeah.
How old are you?
Do you remember Czechoslovakia?
Check a what?
I was gonna
Yeah,
say
I was alive for
Czechoslovakia.
It's time to learn geography.
No! Hey everybody, I'm your host Barbie. We have reached our last and final country starting with a C, the Czech Republic, which technically just changed its English name to Czechia.
You mean that place in
okay.
Russia with all the
Czechia,
problems?
No, that's Chechnya.
Didn't you say that was that thing on the Croatian flag?
No, that's the Czechy.
King me.
No, that's checkers.
Bishop to C5?
No, that's chess.
You mean Big Buford Burgers?
No, that's the restaurant Checkers.
Isn't that the thing with the hotel?
No, that's a check-in.
Danny Tanner?
Okay, let's start this episode. Czech Republic, you're like the heart of Central Europe, the bridge between East and West. First of all, the country is located in Central Europe, landlocked, surrounded by
it's more
Germany,
central.
Poland, Slovakia, and Austria. The country is divided into 13 regions, with the capital city of Prague centrally located in the western half of the country. Now here's the thing, the Czech Republic kind of has a strong sense of regionalism. If you've ever heard the word Bohemia or Bohemian, regardless of whether or not the context behind the word is used to connotate a Slavic
Right.
geographic location and people group, it's referencing this general area of the Czech Republic. However, be careful you do not call the entire place Bohemia. You will anger the entire eastern part of the country. This is because the Czech Republic is kind of made up of 3 distinct regional identities that are kind of competitive with each other. In addition to Bohemia, there's Moravia and Little Silesia, who kind of wanders off and pays more attention to Poland than Czechia. Although there isn't a distinct line of division, generally Moravia is located here with these 3 regions overlapping, as Czech Silesia dominates the small area in the upper east corner of the country. Also, do not refer to Czechia as an Eastern
Oops,
European
that's
country.
what I
They
said it
are
was.
Central
Yeah.
Europe. Otherwise,
My
the Czech
bad.
Republic doesn't really hold on to any external territories. I mean, they technically leased out 3 ports in Hamburg. Although they aren't considered exclaves, they're used as free ports for trade since Czechia is landlocked. These ports will revert back to Germany, though, in 2028. By the way, for current relevancy purposes, full disclosure, I'm going to intermix calling the country Czechia and Czech Republic throughout this video, so you'll never know which one I'll call it next. It's like a mystery game. The second and third largest cities, Brno and Ostrava, can be found in the regions of Moravia and Silesia, and competition between Prague can get pretty heated. In a friendly way, but, in a don't push my buttons and I won't stab you friendly way. The funny thing is, there really aren't any suburbs in the country. I mean, the city just kind of ends and then it becomes countryside, like, right away. Speaking of the countryside, let's talk about the landscape and stuff now, shall we? Okay, so just being completely upfront, the Czech Republic may not be the most forest-ridden country in Europe. A lot of the land outside of urban centers is tilled and irrigated in irregularly shaped crop fields. The country only has 4 national parks. However, with whatever nature zones they do have, they go all
Those
out.
are
I mean, parts of the
gorgeous.
freaking Narnia movies were filmed here.
Okay, look at that.
First of all, if you look at Czechia from space, you'll notice that the entire country is kind of shaped like a bowl, encased by mountains on all sides. This makes the country a perfect drainage basin for various rivers like the Elbe, Vltava, and Morava rivers. Closer to the outside of the borders are
Gorgeous.
rolling green hills and
Wow.
low mountains that speckle the country with
Nice,
the
really
occasional
nice.
forest and
Yeah.
classical Bohemian and Moravian castle perched on the summits.
Those are like epic castles.
Then you have that weird small desert that's barely like a kilometer wide. Otherwise, most of the country is kind of flat with small undulations here and there loaded with barley and wheat fields. Don't be fooled though. Barley and wheat, although good for bread and cereals, is important for the crown prize commodity that usurps all other Czech products.
Beer.
Beer. The Czech take beer very seriously. You thought the Germans and Irish had a heavy beer culture? You obviously have not met a Czech. No,
Czech
but
mate.
seriously, the Czech Republic has the highest beer consumption per capita than any other country in
Wow.
the world at
I
around
did not know
145
that.
liters per person per year. Nonetheless, driving while drunk is a serious crime with incredibly harsh punishments. They take the policy with almost zero tolerance.
Wow.
So just remember, when in Czechia, keep your drunken fights and mental breakdowns where they belong. At home. With your family. Speaking of
Okay,
family,
over.
a favorite pastime
Yeah.
that many Czech families have is going mushrooming, in which
yeah.
they go out for hikes
Shrooming.
and pick wild edible mushrooms and bring them back home to cook. The Czech economy is really heavily centered around industry and manufacturing though, especially in the automotive department. Car production alone makes up about 18% of all exports and employs millions across the country. Let's talk more about the employees now, shall we?
We shall.
In a nutshell, the Czech Republic is the most stable and prosperous of the post-communist states of Europe. First of all, the country has around 10.5 million people and has the lowest unemployment rate in all of the European Union. When it comes to ethnic makeup,
interesting.
things are kind of weird and hilarious because officially there's a huge group of undeclared people. Although by all reasonable statistics, over 90% of the country is ethnically Czech, although only 65% of the country deliberately identifies as Czech, where 25% is unspecified. And the reason is because in the census, they left nationality as an optional item to check off, and a ton of people in the country just kind of dismissed that part. Whereas the rest of the country either identifies as Moravian or Slovak or other. The largest groups being Ukrainians and surprisingly Vietnamese. Yeah, apparently Czechia is a hotspot for the Vietnamese. Who would have guessed? Of course, Czech is the official language, a Slavic-based tongue that is mutually intelligible to the Slovaks across the border, and slightly off but still kind of understandable to the Poles. The interesting thing is that Czech is the only language that uses the sh letter that makes the tr sound. I'll let this guy explain.
The actual letter itself is pronounced ersh, but when you see it in a word, it's pronounced differently. You don't see here ersh eka. This means river, by the way. Instead, it's pronounced Řeka.
One thing that absolutely sets the Czech
It sounds
apart
like a
though, would have to
ZR.
be its distinguishable
Yeah.
architecture
Řeka.
that incorporates both classical Baroque and Gothic elements with ornate colonnades embellishing the foyers and corridors.
Oh my gosh, the virgins. Wow.
Home to a plethora of world-renowned composers, artists, and even one Nobel Prize literature winner, the Czechs hold their ground in culture. Long story short, like almost every other country in Europe, the Czechs have a long history of complex kingdoms, empires, duchies, reformations, alliances, and even for a while being part of the Eastern Bloc. But basically, all you really have to know is that through it all, they've still retained their unique sense of nationalistic Central European Slavic identity. They also have an interesting sense of diplomatic identity, such we will discuss in. Czechia, once again, has a long history with its neighbors that takes too long to explain, but in the shortest way I can put it, as part of the former Austro-Hungarian Empire, the Czechs still retain quite a close tie to Austria and Hungary, even after the dissolution of the empire in the early 20th century. But then we get to little Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein had a few problems with castles and land that they used to own in the area, and for a while didn't even recognize the country as legit until 2009, when they were finally like, fine,
2009,
whatever. In
that
general,
was only
they are good friends
9
with the
years ago.
Visegrad
10
group
years
of
ago.
countries, Poland, Slovakia, and Hungary. These countries have incredibly good business and governmental cooperation. Their best friend would have to be, hands down, though, Slovakia. They're more than just friends. They're basically like conjoined twins that were separated at the head.
I was going to
back
say,
in the
they were
90s. It was the most
Czechoslovakia.
peaceful split, and
Yeah.
to this
Oh,
day,
yeah.
Czechs and Slovaks will always walk hand in hand. In
They became
conclusion,
two
the Czech Republic
countries.
is like the Slavic brother that grew up, got a job, and kind of only reluctantly shows up to family reunions when it's really absolutely necessary. Stay tuned. Denmark is coming up next.
Yeah, I still want to call it Czechoslovakia. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's what I remember.
he's calling it.
And he said so. It was 1993, I guess, when they separated.
Yeah, I
Because
forgot
he had the
did
years
he
on
say,
there.
Did he say what he separated for?
He didn't say why. I don't think he
Yeah.
said why. He just showed the years of the. He said showed the Union of Czech Republic and Slovakia, and it was like 1800 to 1983.
So, question, guys, why did they separate?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's pretty interesting. I mean, it's kind of interesting to know about it. I mean,
And I think there was like a war about it, but I don't know if I'm correct on that one.
well, somebody, comment down below.
Yeah.
And like over there, they don't like. Some people don't like to be called.
I guess don't call me East. Oh, Bohemian, yeah. Well, because I think
call it
that
everywhere.
it's referencing a culture.
Yeah.
So if you're saying that the Czech Republic is Bohemian, then it's going to offend people because some people are not. They're Moravian.
I guess it's Freddie Mercury, named the song after. Maybe,
Must have, maybe, I don't know.
Bohemian.
But I thought you said it isn't the same as that, though.
Oh, it
I thought
isn't
that's
the
what he was
same?
saying. Not like this Bohemian or the style of dress.
Yeah.
There's a style of dress called Bohemian, and I thought he was
Yeah.
saying it wasn't the same, but I might
Okay.
be wrong.
Yeah, man. Man, this is definitely great, man.
I enjoy these for sure.
They only got a population like 10 million people, so
Yeah.
it's not like a lot of people. Well, a lot of these European countries, they really have like a small, percentage.
Yeah.
Like the small ones, like 10 million.
Well, they're
5 million,
smaller
12 million.
countries, yeah.
Yeah.
But it looked gorgeous.
It did look really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like these videos are just making me want to visit every country.
It makes you want to visit every country in the world. Comment down below if you're from Czech Republic. So they just started calling themselves Czech Republic when they
In
when they separated.
93, yeah.
Okay.
Or now it's Czechia.
Yeah, Czechia. Definitely good information. Maybe we'll visit
Always
someday.
interesting. Yeah,
Pretty
hopefully.
good.
It'd be great to.
Yeah, but man, we are about to end this video. We really hope you enjoy our reaction. If you want to support our channel, make sure to check out the links in our description and our pinned comment. Don't forget to subscribe.
And thumbs it up.
Turn on notifications. It's your man Mario B.
And Nicole.
Want to catch you on the next one. Stay awesome. Peace and love, baby.